Here we go again. 2023 has come and gone, and still no Spyro 4 teaser or reveal has been announced in any way, shape, or form. Is it time to be concerned yet? Well, yes and no. Let's get into it and let's talk about it a little bit.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that can make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous. I don't give a fuck, 'cause I keep chasing. They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that can make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous. But I don't give a fuck, 'cause I keep
King! Spyro 4 has long been a dream of mine to play, and after weeks of hype being built up by not only the Spyro 3 Platinum Trophy, his 25th anniversary, but also from Spyro and Crash's Twitter pages and the Game Awards as well, teasing the absolute hell out of something coming on December 7th. Combine that with 2024 being the next year of the Dragon and Crash Team Rumble releasing on the same day with Spyro coming into it, the Game Awards finally seem to be that moment to announce a brand new Spyro game. And what did we get instead?
Not a damn thing.
Now, like myself, I've also noticed many of you Spyro fans out there have started to slightly resent Crash a little bit, and it's sad to see because I'm starting to slightly feel the same way. I love Crash Bandicoot, I love that little orange marsupial, but after Crash getting a brand new sequel, 2 spin-offs, a Crash Team Racing remaster, and now Team Rumble, it's safe to say that I am ready for a brand new Spyro game now and not another Crash game. But yet, here we are 6 years after Spyro's remaster, and what has he gotten since his remaster?
Not a damn thing.
Now, for me recently, I've been extremely dissatisfied with Spyro's present and future ever since his remaster has come out. But I've also noticed that not only are a lot of Spyro fans starting to feel the same way, a lot of them are also starting to see it as disrespectful towards Spyro, since Spyro has had a role or cameo in every single Crash game, including the remaster. That means that Toys for Bob has gone out of their way to make sure that Spyro is in every single Crash game, but yet they still haven't given him his own game. It's almost like they see Spyro as Crash's sidekick now, and that's a terrible thing to say and feel as a Spyro fan, but myself and many others are starting to believe it. Even after the continued silence around a Spyro 4 game, I still have hope for a Spyro 4 next year, because there is still plenty of info hinting at a brand new Spyro game despite the letdown of the Game Awards yet again. The first big piece of info that we have are the interviews we've been seeing recently with YouTubers like Canadian Guy A, Podcast Now, and others speaking with Toys for Bob on multiple occasions. And Toys for Bob also on multiple occasions in these interviews has said that Spyro has not only surpassed 10 million units sold, but they also understand the want and hope for a brand new Spyro game is definitely there. But they can't say any more beyond that. Now, I don't know about you guys, but anytime a company says that there's a want for something there, but they can't say anything else beyond that, it always smells a little fishy to me. Sounds like they're already working on it, but they can't officially say anything yet. Hopefully that's the same here. But Miracle Man, if they're already working on it, shouldn't they have already announced it for Spyro's 25th anniversary? Now that is a great question, my friends. But to answer that question, we actually have to look back at 2 major events recently. That being COVID-19 and COD MW3. Now, it's no secret that many games were delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Gran Turismo 7, God of War, Avatar, Hogwarts Legacy, and even Crash Team Rumble that was originally meant for Crash's 25th anniversary had to get pushed back due to COVID. It is very plausible that the same scenario has happened to Spyro 4. And it was indeed planned to be revealed at some point this year, but now has since been pushed back due to COVID. So for those of you who don't know, back in April of 2021, Toys for Bob announced that they would be joining COD as a support studio for Warzone 1 and 2. Now, as we know, after COD Vanguard was released, MW2 then came out shortly after, and this is where things get interesting for Spyro. The next game after COD MW2 was supposed to be Treyarch's next Call of Duty game, but due to COVID-19, that was also delayed. Now, this is relevant because Sledgehammer Games, according to sources, wanted to make a brand new Advanced Warfare called Advanced Warfare 2. But because of the Treyarch delay, we had to now look at COD MW3. Now, COD MW3 was supposed to be released as its own DLC. It was supposed to be DLC released for the second year of COD MW2, while Treyarch released its brand new next Call of Duty game. So why does this relate to Spyro at all? Well, it relates to Spyro because now what was meant to be DLC in MW3 now had to become its own game entirely, scrapping the entire AW2 project altogether. Because a DLC now being turned into a new game, they had to essentially finish what was supposed to be a 2-year game in just under 13 months. That means that all studios' hands would have been brought on deck for this. That means that Raven Software, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and yes, even Toys for Bob were now on board to make sure that not only Warzone, but now also MW3 could get done in time. This means that any games that those companies were working on is now second fiddle to the brand new Call of Duty and MW3 until it was done. We already knew that AW2 was completely scrapped for this reason, and it could very well have been the reason for the Crash Team Rumble delay as well. So if Spyro 4 was in development at this time, which I'm very certain it was, it makes sense why it's not ready yet. Because they were focusing all their hands on Modern Warfare 3, which just recently finished and came out. Now, a lot of people have seemed to have forgotten about this little detail, but the last big piece of info that I want to bring up is this screenshot right here that is on screen. Now, I don't know why people have forgotten about this, it seems like to me, but this is clearly Spyro 4 logo. Guys, I cannot see Toys for Bob putting this logo in a Crash 4 game unless they were planning or were already working on a Spyro 4. It just doesn't add up to me why this would be in Crash 4 if they were not working or planning on working on Spyro 4. And it's still the biggest piece of information we got, guys. It's literally from the developers of the game that worked on the Reignited trilogy, and it's literally shouting it right in our faces, Spyro 4. So guys, if all of this lines up like we think it does, Spyro 4 definitely should have been announced this year, but also like CTR, definitely got delayed. So if Spyro 4 was delayed a year, when can we expect an announcement or a trailer? I'm thinking at the TGS Awards, guys. And I know that's 12 months away almost. It's a long time. It's towards the end of the year. But I'm leaning towards TGS because that's where Spyro Reignited was announced. But unfortunately, like I said, that's not till September of 2024. So if it happens there, I'm predicting a late 2024 or early 2025 release. The only way that I can see Spyro coming out in 2024 is if they announce the trailer early in the year like they did with the Reignited trilogy teaser. There was a teaser for the Reignited trilogy, and then we got the full-on gameplay trailer at TGS. So if this does happen again, we can expect a Spyro 4 announcement sometime in April or at the beginning of May. So the thing that I want to mention is kind of a double-edged sword, but what is the big double-edged sword? It's Activision, guys. We all know that Activision is now owned by Xbox. The deal officially went through. Now that means that Spyro, Crash, and Call of Duty are all now owned by Microsoft. The reason I say that this is a double-edged sword is because this can go either way. This can be very good for Spyro 4, or it can be very bad for Spyro 4. It can be very good for Spyro 4 because Phil Spencer, the Xbox CEO, has stated that crossplay has always and will always be a priority, along with letting the developers know that he wants them to work on the games that they want to work on. So this means that if Toys for Bob does indeed want a Spyro 4 like they've claimed, they should be able to work on Spyro 4 with no problems from Activision or Xbox, without exclusivity being a problem either. This could have also been another reason why there was a delay in the reveal. They could have waited because Xbox might want to reveal it at a Microsoft event next year rather than at the Game Awards like they were originally planning, if it was ever planned in the first place. Now, the bad news to the double-edged sword of this is unfortunately Activision itself. They still have the final say on what games are made under their company. And unfortunately, they've already done this once before with the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series. After the high success of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, we were all but certain a 3 and 4 remake was just around the corner. Everything, Activision did end up just flat out saying that they did not want to work on a Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. So regardless of what Neversoft wanted to do, Activision had the final say and shut down the project. The reason this is important is, as little of a chance as it is, this can happen to Spyro. It doesn't make any sense. Activision would be absolutely stupid and crazy to do it. The backlash behind it would be insane, but it is still possible that Activision just says no to Spyro, because this is a slim chance that this happens, in my opinion. Because to put the sales into perspective for Tony Hawk compared to Spyro, both games were released roughly around the same time in the same year of 2017. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 was released on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and Xbox and PC. That means that it was released on every single console, both new and last gen. And it only did 5 million in sales. Now, is 5 million in sales bad? Absolutely not. But to put it in perspective, when Spyro came out in 2017, it did not get a PS5 announcement. It did not get an Xbox Series X announcement. It only came out on the last gens, PS4 and Xbox One. And it still made double what Tony Hawk Pro Skater Remaster made. That is why I think that Activision is not going to go against Spyro in this scenario. Because we all know, if there's one thing that Activision likes more than anything, it's that lovely green money. And they will never be able to deny that if Spyro continues to make that money. Now, with all this news, whether it be unfortunate news, good news, or just news, like I said, I am still very convinced that Spyro 4 will be releasing, you guys can quote me on this, in the next 2 years. That is right, guys. I am 100% confident, and like I said, you guys can quote me on this. I am 100% confident that Spyro 4 has been worked on. It's being worked on as we speak, and it will release no later than 2025. And I want to point out, guys, this is just the big news that I've pointed out. I didn't talk about the small stuff like the data mine leakers have found in Crash Team Rumble. I haven't talked about the model of Allura being different than the Reignited trilogy. Why would they change Allura for just a Crash game? They changed Spyro's model a little bit. They're changing Spyro so much, and they're changing the characters around him to make him look more clean. And I don't see them doing that unless an inevitable Spyro 4 is on the horizon. I apologize for not uploading in the last 2-3 weeks or so. My mom has actually been in and out of the hospital, unfortunately, so I've just been kind of taking care of her and helping out stuff around the house with my family. I haven't had much time to sit down and really sit and record and game. Monday, I have the Crash video coming out, so that video will finally be released on Monday, and then right after that is my Platinum 100 video for Kingdom Hearts. But I wanted to get this video out to talk about Spyro because I think that not enough people are talking about it, and we need to start talking about it. So we need to start talking about it, guys, for real. We need to start talking about it, continue talking about it, and don't stop talking about it until we get this game. As always, if you guys enjoyed, make sure you hit that like, comment, subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you guys get notified every time a new video goes live on this channel. And always remember, guys, if you're not playing the game for the Platinum, you're playing the game wrong.